Do you need us to turn our Wi-Fi off? Like, what happened?
Hello, my Facebook, YouTube, Instagram family. I'm Crystal Dillard. This is my Crystal Loves Texas podcast. And you may remember the young lady sitting to my right from last week. She's the golden girl, all in gold. And this is Miss Donna Glover. Last week we had a little bit of a technical glitch, and we are cleaning it up right now. And by doing that, we only got maybe about 20, 25 minutes of what Donna had to tell us last week about her campaign. So she's going to jump back in. And I think last week she was sort of explaining to us exactly what the county clerk did, the types of the district clerk did, the district clerk does, and she surprised me because I was absolutely I just did not know all the responsibilities entitled. I mean that entailed in that particular position. So can you jump in from there, Donna? Introduce yourself again and kind of let us know exactly what that district clerk does and some of the things that you plan to do to really improve that office and make it a little bit more efficient.
Of course. Well, again, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And I want to distinguish because I'm running for district clerk,
Yes.
not county clerk.
Yes.
Because I don't want the people who love Tanisha beating me up.
That's right.
Okay.
Clean that up fast. Yeah.
And even when I'm out, I'm like, no. They was like, well, is Tanisha not running? No, she is.
Right.
It's for a different position.
Different position.
And you got to make that distinction because a lot of times the general public, they just don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the district clerk is the court clerk. So I always like to start off with that. The district clerk handles everything you need to go to court, all your legal documents,
Yes.
right? So if you file against someone or you sue someone or someone sues you,
Okay.
that's where the documentation is housed at the district clerk's office.
Okay.
Okay. What is that? Divorce papers,
Right.
things of that nature.
Yes.
Anything that you need to go before a judge, that's what's housed at the district clerk's office.
Okay.
Then the district clerk will take those documents and file a docket for the judges to hear your case, right? So if it's just a judge or if you need to have a judge by jury,
Yes.
that's what the district clerk also determines.
Okay.
And then last but not least, no, in addition to that, the district clerk handles jury duty.
Okay.
Everything that goes into jury duty. So randomization of the picking of jury duty,
Okay.
as well as bringing them in, housing them, getting them fed for lunch.
Okay.
And if they're actually picked or have to stay after lunch and then get them also paid.
Okay.
Last but not least, the district clerk handles passport processing. Those are the three things that they handle for the public.
Okay.
On the back end, they handle a lot of other things like jail, records, probation. They also house, or the district clerk also house historic documents for the city of Houston
Wow.
and Harris County, right? So documents that dating back to 1800s or whatever.
Yes.
So they actually have a temperature control place where those documents are housed as well. So those are not scanned,
Wow.
fished in. Those are still housed as paper documents.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot, Donna. Well, let me ask you this. Now, we know that technology is changing before our eyes. We're seeing everything from AI. We're seeing, less and less humans being used in the process of paperwork. Now, is efficiency of that office going to be is the human element going to interrupt the efficiency of the office or vice versa? Because a lot of times when you go into somewhere, especially older Texans and Houstonians, and everything is automated and the only thing you can do is log into something and there's no one there to help you. I know people like my mom, they feel overwhelmed.
Right.
So how would you handle that, especially making it where it's still user friendly for those people who aren't necessarily tech savvy?
Absolutely. So we don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed. So those are my 3 points. One, increasing accessibility, enhancing accessibility. updating the technology, and improving customer service.
Okay.
And I think all three of those have something to do with what you're talking about, right?
Right.
So when we say AI, it's okay. When we say AI, that's not a bad thing necessarily.
No, it's
Okay.
not. It's
So I
not.
want people to not cringe
Freak
and
out.
exactly,
Yeah.
okay, get upset or get scared or whatever when we say artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
because some things are exaggerated in the movies. So, we really haven't got to that part yet. Right now, we're just still on the software and the coding part, really, as far as AI is concerned, artificial intelligence. And so intelligence can be a great thing.
Right.
Anything you need to have barriers and processes and controls on it,
Absolutely.
right? But AI can be an awesome thing. I want to use AI in the district clerk's office to improve or enhance the accessibility.
Yes.
And so when I say accessibility, I mean two things. One, I want to go out into the community and teach folks like you're talking about
Yes.
how to use a district clerk's office.
Right.
So that's how to use it online, as well as how to come down to the district clerk's office and file your paperwork in
In
person.
person. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. And then the second thing is the accessibility. I'm speaking of having language
Oh, yeah.
appropriate materials, right?
Right. We have so many languages in Houston
We
that people
do.
speak.
And so
Right.
I can't promise that we're going to cover every
And
single
AI
language.
would help with this.
Mhm.
Like,
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. So we want to use the AI to work smarter and not what?
harder.
Okay, all day, every day.
Well, let me ask you this, because this is something that you have been hearing about continually. Just in the news, you hear about this with with individual. It's always brought up when there are investigative reports going on,
Mhm.
but the backlog in court cases and judges saying that sometimes someone hasn't been on the bench because they just haven't gotten the paperwork in
Mhm.
months.
Mhm.
How does a backlog like that happen? Is that a human thing, or are we just in Harris County not up to standard with our technology? How does
So
that
it's
happen?
both of those things, and I'm glad that you asked about this. So
Mhm.
also the technology needs to be updated. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely, and that's one of the things that I am promising to deliver. Well, it may not be day one,
Mhm.
but maybe day 30. Okay,
Okay.
because
Mhm.
it doesn't take 10, 15, 20 years, as some of my opponents have been associated with the county. It doesn't take that long to make some things happen. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? It shouldn't take that long. So I want to make that happen on day 30. We're going to analyze and audit and see what's actually going on with why is there a backlog and why is the system always dropping or always down. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Because we don't need that. And as an IT program manager, a computer science major from Prairie View A&M University,
Mhm.
yes, go Panthers. Okay, I'm going to definitely ensure that we're going to have more efficiency. It's going to be up to date, and we're going to make sure that the system is not dropping because of the backlogs. So that's the technology part, right? That's computer and
So,
technology.
so
Right.
what you're saying is basically it's all an infrastructure problem, right?
Absolutely. And then I want to get to the customer service or the people part of it, right?
Okay.
Because I think that's also something that we need to address as well. And one of my things, improving customer service.
Right.
So that means teaching the clerks, what their job is
Exactly.
and how to do it effectively and efficiently. Okay, and that may not be cutting corners or cutting the training time
Right.
because we're in need. That is like going through the process so
Right.
that people know exactly what they need to do and they can do it effectively and efficiently. Okay.
Because the thing about it is with that, really, you hear of the cases being backlogged, and it gets dumped straight on the lap of the judges. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I hate that they have to have to
Because the judges
bear the
already,
brunt.
they already got enough stuff to do. Just
Well, and that's not their job to prepare
Assess and
everything.
create the
Yeah.
dockets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does get dropped in their laps because you hear when the media gets a hold of it, they are, well, this judge has not heard a case in, these cases have been backlogged for a year and a half. They should have been through here. And I'm thinking that we're not saying 3 weeks. We're saying a year and a half.
Right.
And then the judges are being blamed for
Yes.
not hosting court in the courthouse.
Yes.
And they can't host nothing they don't know nothing about.
Absolutely. And then the other part of it is that all persons are innocent until proven guilty, right?
And they're being held, a lot of them.
Right. So in our current system, right, there's a bond system, and people are actually in jail until their case is being heard. And so
Yes.
I'm not commenting on that piece, but I
Right.
definitely don't feel like it is just
Equitable. It's not.
correct for
It's
people
not.
to be held because one, if they can't afford,
Cannot post a bond. That's
okay,
right.
that's the money part of it.
Yeah.
The money bill, cash bill. Yep, absolutely.
So let me just break down why it's important real quick for everybody to vote. I know I'm taking this out the public servants'
That's okay.
hands for just a second, but they'll get into their spiel. What they're trying to do. But on the private citizens end, because I'm a private citizen, this is why it's important for everybody to go to the polls and vote for the state and local elections. Why? Because you see the things that we're discussing now, backlogs, judges are not being able to hear cases to 2 and 3 years after the fact. All of the infrastructure problem and stuff. There are people that we elect that deal with these problems.
Oh, yeah.
Should.
Okay. There are people that we elect that deal with these issues.
Right.
They not putting an application in on Indeed and getting hired.
Right.
Okay. They are being elected by you, the public.
Right.
So if you want a more efficient, and I hear so many people on social media all the time complaining about Houston's problems municipally and statewide. Well, the problem lies with the voters because the voters don't put people in place that are qualified to do the job. They can't say that I'm going to. I'm a private citizen, so I can say that. So if you want more efficiency in your local government, if you want more efficiency in your state government, you have to get up and go to the polls and vote for the people to put in place so they can make that efficiency happen. Again, they don't just apply for these jobs on Indeed and then they get an application.
So, Rebecca, with what you just said in mind, let's consider this. People have been so comfortable for many, many years with things that don't directly affect them. Now we have a situation where so many of the things that are on the table now hit home with people.
Right.
Insurance issue, the SNAP issue.
Right. And I have so many people.
It's hitting home where it wasn't hitting home before.
Yeah, and because a lot of people know that, I'm politically astute. I have a lot of people calling me on a daily basis asking me questions, all kind of questions, right? And one of the main questions, like Crystal said, it don't hit home for people.
Yeah.
Passport. I have so many people that call and text me about passports that it is unreal. Why the passport is taking so long and why we can't expedite it and why? Well, here's one of the people that's trying to fix the passport issues.
Right.
Y'all trying to go to Rio and Bali and Paris and Egypt and all of these places.
Dubai.
Right. And you have somebody right here that's telling you, hey, this is why there's a breakdown in communication. And here's my solution to fix it. Absolutely. You want to know about SNAP benefits and healthcare and why Texas is, why Texas is 50th in healthcare and nobody is seeming to doing something about it.
Yeah.
Or why the education system is jacked up as it is. Well, we have somebody here.
Right.
Who will point the Crystal? So we have somebody here who will. No, she don't handle that. That's why I'm pointing the Crystal. You have somebody here who will be in the state house speaking on your behalf to get those problems rectified. Not this one, this one. This is the passport issue.
Right.
This one is the problems that we have. So if y'all want to get these problems fixed and you stop complaining and you're tired of Texas and the problems that's going on in Houston, well, respectively, these are people that can fix the issue if you give them a chance.
Now, Donna,
Yes,
with that in mind,
please.
the election is coming up.
Yes.
In almost about a couple of days, a month.
Mm-hmm.
What do people, where can people go to find out more about you? Or if you can just kind of drop in a little bit of tidbits about your background and why you know that you are the most qualified for this position.
Awesome. So let me just piggyback on what Rebecca was saying real quick, because people are talking about things that don't affect them. Well, everything affects everybody.
That's right.
So we can't get into a routine where we're saying that this doesn't affect me, right? Because I saw a lot of that with Trayvon Martin, situation, whatever. And although that wasn't my son, I have two sons, two Black sons that often have hoodies on, that have earplugs in, and
natural hair.
Yes, natural hair, minding their business and not necessarily paying attention to their surroundings.
Right.
So if this young man could go into a neighborhood, minding his own business,
where his relatives live,
where he lived, where he went to the store and got some things
Skittles
for him, yes, and walk down the street and get gunned down in the street for minding his business. He wasn't robbing anybody.
Right.
He wasn't stealing anything. He wasn't messing with anybody. He wasn't doing anything but walking down the street.
Right.
That affects you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, Black people, that affects you.
Because if you don't have sons, you got nephews.
You have all that. You have daughters. I mean,
That's
it's
right.
not just with the Black boys and males, right? It is with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Donna, make no mistake. Now, other people of other ethnicities are feeling that kick too,
right?
Because they're being singled out and targeted for no reason too.
Correct.
So it's not just, you can't just act when it's you.
Right.
Correct.
You can't just act when it's you. When you see an injustice that's happening, you've got to act.
Right, because MLK said what?
Injustice everywhere is an injustice
anywhere.
That's right.
Injustice everywhere. Okay. And so we hear that rhetoric and we just like, oh, okay, you just pass by. But no, that's because it's going to come back around.
Of course it will.
As we seen last year, a lot of people voted for Trump because they didn't think that it was going to affect them.
Yeah.
Okay. This is not for us. This is for those people, the Black and brown people. But as you see, you got laid out because you're a government employee and you're a part of the DEI. Not necessarily that you're a Black. You're a white female.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't think that was
veteran.
Okay.
A
veteran. You didn't think that was going to apply to you, but it did. And it is. So this is what I'm saying. If you know that it is wrong is wrong and right is right.
Right.
You ought to speak out and act against it. You should vote against it.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't just be waiting. So I'm appealing to everybody for this primary election, which is March 3rd, which you asked me about. And early voting starts in a couple of weeks.
February 17th.
Absolutely.
February 17th. Okay. You hear me? So that's not a long time, but you need to be registered in order to vote for me, Donna G.
Yes.
Number 3 on the ballot, and Miss Crystal D. Okay, over here.
And I'm registered.
And she's on the ballot. House District 131.
So if you want to vote for us, and we need your vote, you need to be registered by Monday, February the 2nd. Okay, it is imperative. And you do not have to fill out the little paper part. You can go to harrisvotes.com. You can go to hctax.net. You can Google it. Okay, it's lots of places where you can register to vote online. Because it's really kind of late to try to send in a paper registration. But you can go.
Donna, I got a little bit of a piece of information for you. With that in mind, on Sunday from 1 until 3 at the Higher Way Church on the corner of Alameda Genoa and and 288, we will have a voter registration kiosk for anyone in Harris County. If you have never registered to vote, if you need to change addresses, if you need to change your name on your voter registration, if you need to make sure that you are still on the roster, whatever you need to do, if this is your first time as a young person who's going to be voting, you can come out from 1 until 3 on February the 1st.
Yes.
Sunday. The Higher Way Church.
Yes.
On the corner of Almeda Genoa and 288, and register to vote. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring your kids,
associates,
bring these teenagers
bring your
who are 18.
Tell them to meet you over there.
That's right.
Now, some of you guys know the Highway Church as Jones Memorial. That was down the way from Watkins.
Yes.
So you got, look,
and they moved.
They moved. Okay. Y'all don't think I'm here, but I've been here, sweetheart. Okay. I'm from Sunnyside, so I know, and that's my family church, which is Jones the Highway. Okay, so make sure y'all there on Sunday.
So it's no excuse, right? It's no excuse.
None.
It's no excuse for not being registered, and we'll make sure we're going to get some flyers up and really start putting those out tonight to get you over there, because you don't have to be dressed up for church. You don't have to even attend the service. If you just come after the service, we'll be there until 3:00.
And if y'all can go to brunch, you can go register to vote.
That's right.
That's all we saying.
That's right.
Young people register to vote.
Yes.
Because here's what I was saying last week. You know, we're losing, and I think I said this Tuesday at the Loop. So we're losing not just because people are not voting.
Mm-hmm.
We're losing because y'all not registered. Y'all playing like y'all registered. But when I did my petitions and everything, this was Wednesday, was on with the real. I said I did the petitions and we had to verify whose address and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And some of y'all not registered.
Yep.
Y'all on social media and Facebook and everything and be like, oh, y'all outstanding citizen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're not registered to vote.
Or you haven't checked your registration. Guys, listen, if you have not voted within the last 2 election cycles, your name could very well be purged. Your name could be purged.
Yeah.
And if you a lot of times this happens and people don't even realize it. Right behind the Higher Way Church, there are 4 brand new apartment complexes that have gone up within the last 6 months or a year.
Absolutely.
You may not have even thought about whether or not you change your registration.
Right.
If you live somewhere else, but now this is your address, you need to be going in and making sure that address is changed. Walk across the street. You walk 50 feet across the street into that church lobby, and you can make sure that you are registered to vote on March the 3rd. You cannot stand and allow things to happen to you, and you know that it's wrong, and act like you can't do anything about it. That's a fallacy. That's a fallacy.
Y'all not
don't ever.
I mean,
don't
what I'm saying.
Don't ever, Donna. Am I right about this?
Yes.
Do not ever give someone your power.
Right.
Never give someone your power. And when you decide when you know that you are eligible and you refuse to vote, everything that happens to you in the back of your mind, it's always going to be in the back of your mind that, maybe if I had just voted, or I talked to my friends and we voted as a block, we went down to vote first and then we went out to eat afterwards.
Right.
Maybe if I had done that, things would be different. Don't ever have that regret. Don't ever have that thought in the back of your mind that it could have been different if I had just done what I know I'm supposed to do.
Absolutely. Well, just to your point, this last voting for the at-large 4 position, right?
Yes.
That was only decided by, I think, like 500 votes.
See there? See there?
And
and that's a small amount. That's a small church.
That's just everybody who's saying that my vote doesn't matter.
That's 2 neighborhoods.
Yes.
Yes. That's 2 neighborhoods.
Yeah. Small neighborhoods. Small subdivisions.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So, you guys, your vote matters. And that's when I meet everyone, not just young people, but mostly young people. I tell them your vote matters. The other part is, if it didn't matter, why are they constantly trying to take it away.
That's
Absolutely.
always been my argument.
Absolutely.
That's always been my argument.
Okay.
Yes.
They're not trying to take anything away that doesn't matter. Okay.
Come in after 75, 100 years and try to subpoena the voting records of everyone in every county. And
I do one better than that.
You see, if it did, and my point is this: if it was not powerful.
I was watching CNN last night, and they were saying that Representative Scalise from Louisiana and Representative Kingston from Tennessee are trying to bring the SAVE Act for a floor vote. So for those of you that don't know what the SAVE Act, and women, you need to listen up because this applies to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The SAVE Act basically is it's an act that the Republicans come up with. They got it past the House. Now it needs to go to the Senate for a vote. That is saying that if your birth certificate does not match with your driver's license, if your birth certificate does not match with your voting ID, you will not be allowed to vote. You know who that affects? 42 million married women.
Yes.
So you have people like my mom's age who is in her 80s, who and you can't use your marriage license. Your marriage license.
You got to use the birth certificate.
You have to use your birth certificate along with your driver's license.
If you were born in the 50s or the 40s, if you don't have access to your birth certificate, what are you supposed to do? Exactly. That means you simply can't vote.
So, just for example, I'm using my mom. My mom's maiden name, of course, and her married name will not match. So, therefore, she can't vote. But you know who can cast a vote on her behalf? My father.
Man,
that's crazy.
And this is
that's crazy.
And this is what
takes back the suffrage.
Right. So this is what they're trying to do.
We're regressing.
Right.
Back.
And they're trying to bring this on the floor for a vote next month. We're not talking about something that's trying to happen after the midterms.
So let's be clear with this, Rebecca. Let's just call it what it is.
Spade is spade.
You have a president, someone who's in office, who would love to see the rights that have been fought for of millions of women.
Please stop giving him credit. He's
millions
not that smart.
Or the sycophants.
It's not
the sycophants.
Okay.
But the thing about it is, he will rubber stamp this kind of thing. Right. Do you want someone who will rubber stamp this kind of thing?
And then, even though that the states are over the states are over elections, you have certain states, primarily in the South, who will use what the national president is saying and say, well, you know what? We're going to implement the SAVE Act. And
precedent.
Yeah, we're going to and technically, because it's a national law, the states are not going to get in trouble because they are adopting a national law. And that will affect mostly married women in the South, because mostly all the southern states are going to take advantage of it.
So I'm going to put it out here like this. Let's just, Rebecca, I'm going to be very, very transparent with this. Women who are in the Republican Party, who are part of the Republican Party right now, is this the party that you signed up for? Is this like many people are saying, I miss the Republican Party of President Bush. It was to have an entity come in and completely hijack everything that you stood for and built and come in with something that is 100% destructive to what American society is, to tear down everything, your Susan B. Anthony's, your Elizabeth Cady Stantons, people who were fighting for the rights of people. Is this what you signed up for? If not, what you need to do is go and make your voice heard. You may need to go ahead and cross that party line and put yourself in a position where, if need be, that party can be rebuilt in a different way.
And here's the thing with this marriage act, with the SAVE Act, not only, first of all, the national government knows that they're not going to get an amendment change on the 19th Amendment,
right?
Because they're not going to have enough support for that,
right?
The sycophants, not the sycophants know that they're not going to get enough support. So they know changing the 19th Amendment will not happen. So what they're doing is they're finding loopholes to disenfranchise. And that's what's happening. They're using loopholes to disenfranchise women from voting. So since they know they can't repeal the 19th Amendment because they're not going to have 2/3 of the states going for that, this is their loophole. But the problem is, if this does pass, and we know the idiot in chief will sign this bill, the states in the South, from Texas all the way to South Carolina, North Carolina, they're the ones that's going to adopt this. So that means you talking about 42 million women being disenfranchised behind the vote. And we're not even talking. And then what about the widows? The people who've had, the women that had their husbands.
Then too bad. They just won't get to vote.
They just won't get to vote because their birth certificate and their driver's license don't have the same last name.
So here's our point. Who's sitting in office right now, if in Austin, if you know that this is someone who is rubber stamping this type of idiocracy, then you need to do something about it, and do something about it very quickly.
Yes.
It doesn't have anything to do with, I can't go against my party, I can't go against my party. But here's the thing, and that's why it's so difficult and so important that you do not align so completely with a party. And let me tell you why, especially when you have people who will go in and they will change the nature of that very party. And so that when those people change and they begin doing things that are completely out of line, completely unhinged, that you're so aligned with that you can't separate yourself from that person and that party. That's an issue, because I'm a history teacher. Rebecca is a history teacher. America has worked. Lives have been lost. Lives have been lost for us to have the kind of rights that we have right now.
Absolutely.
Lives have been lost here and abroad for us to have the kind of rights we have right now.
So to go
and
back,
for the sake of a name of a party, are you willing to make that sacrifice?
All because one person wants power for the entire.
In these people.
Yeah, because one person wants to have an entire. One person wants to hold the power of the entire country. It has to be his way or no way at all.
It's not him. It's not. Anyway, so you guys have an opportunity to register to vote today, tomorrow, Sunday.
Yes.
And even Monday, because Monday is the last day.
Yes, absolutely. So please.
Highway Church, the corner of Alameda Genoa, and the corner of Alameda Genoa, Donna, I never know what camera to look at. But the corner of Alameda Genoa and Highway 288, 1 till 3 p.m. on Sunday. Come out. It takes you literally 2.5 minutes to fill out that voter registration card, and you are out of there.
You're done.
You're out of there.
Okay.
And yes, ma'am.
And I do have a question for Donna, and just to get off our soapbox for like 2.5 seconds.
Sure.
Donna, tell the people why you chose to run for this position.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to kind of circle back around there, but I know this is very, very important.
Yeah.
So one, you can check me out at Donna G for districtclerk.com. I'm just going back to your question from earlier, so I want to make sure that I always address what was asked. So Donna G for districtclerk.com. I am on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Donna G for HCDC, Harris County District Clerk. Donna G for HCDC, excuse me. I'm also on TikTok, right? TikTok is Donna.Glover for HCDC. So check me out all those ways on social media, and then please feel free to send me a donation. Yes, because it costs money to run. As you know.
It does.
So,
campaigns don't run on water.
They don't.
And we're here at actblue.com. Search for Donna G for HCDC. Also, Cash App, $ Donna G for HCDC. And then, of course, Zelle that you can see in 832-293-3476. Just highlight 2026 campaign donation. Yes, so those are the ways. Now, why did I decide to run for Harris County District Clerk? Well, the district clerk, so a couple of reasons. One, I'll start by saying that I have had attorneys and then I also have filed pro se. And in doing so, I know that I'm not an attorney, but I also need to know how to file
Right.
pro se, and as well as check on what my attorney filed on my behalf, right?
Yes.
And so I can pretty much do that because I'm a little tech savvy. I have a computer science degree from Prairie View A&M University.
Hey.
And then I also have a master's in education from the University of St. Thomas, and then I'm working on my MBA from DePaul. So I can kind of figure it out, right? How to create an account, how to upload my documents, how to submit it. But there are folks that don't know how to do that.
Absolutely.
And I want to come in and teach people how to do that, how to create their accounts, how to submit their information, go out in the community. It's not giving legal advice. I can't tell you what forms to actually file on your case, but I can tell you how to file them. Okay,
Right.
and that's what I desperately want to go out into the community and do. And I don't have to wait on people to come in to the district clerk's office. One, it just, sometimes it's inconvenient, it's costly. I was just there earlier this week. It's cold. When it was cold, I'm like, vote for me, Donna G. I'm gonna give y'all a heater down there, okay?
Yes.
I'm gonna get y'all some warm. I'm gonna turn on the heat downstairs at the district clerk's office,
Yes.
okay? On Caroline. Trust and believe. But so that was the main thing. And then, well, that's one of the things. Secondly, and most importantly, is the technology.
Yes.
So as we talked about, there's a backlog. The system is down a lot. And so we want to ensure that the system is not going to be down as much. I mean, if there's something maybe 2 to 5%, but because nothing is 100%,
Right.
Be clear and be realistic. But we can definitely make sure that with my IT expertise, I don't have to go and ask anybody real time what to do and whatever. I can assess the situation on site and in real time dynamically and say, hey, this is what we should try, or this is the software, the hardware where we need to implement so that we, and of course, consulting with the IT, the district clerk's IT and the county's universal services. But I can definitely make some real-time decisions on how to make sure that the district clerk's system, background systems, hardware and software are up and running all day, every day. Because as we talked about, that affects lots of lives when it's down. Now, I'm not sure if you guys saw the little clip from Jolanda Jones on my birthday, which was Wednesday, January the 14th. But she talked about the system being down that day. And then as well, something wasn't, it wasn't it was dedicated to a certain judge. The court case was dedicated to a certain judge, and they didn't hear the case and things of that nature. And it's like, how did it even get to this judge? So, again, we want to operate, or I will make sure that we're operating on integrity. So there should never be a question on how cases are received and how they are distributed to various judges. Okay, so I want to ensure that that is happening, because if you guys know me personally, and if you don't know me personally, ask somebody that know me about the truth, the efficiency and telling the truth about being real. You know what I'm saying? Even sometimes to my detriment, but it's a detriment to the people, but God knows the heart, right? Okay, so I don't even worry about that if I am being true and genuine.
Right.
Yes, yes. And so those are the things I want, like I said, increasing the accessibility, updating technology. The last thing I want to improve is the customer service.
Yes.
So I've had feedback. So all of these issues, I've had lots of feedback from regular Harris County citizens. Okay, let's be clear there. I've had feedback from lawyers
Yes.
who use the system, and then I've also had feedback from judges as well as district clerk employees. Improving the customer service. So that comes along with improving their pay.
Right.
Okay, because we've seen or heard and know that the district clerk's office clerks have been one of the less paid employees of Harris County.
Wow.
Yes, just recently up to $20 an hour, and for what they do, they definitely deserve more than that. Yeah,
Right.
and so the district clerk office has been losing people, this faithful folks and faithful employees
Right.
to other county agencies because they're not paying enough.
Exactly.
And that makes sense. I understand that.
Yeah, I gotta do what's best for my family.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if we want to do that, we want to promote and make sure that we're finding folks who are capable on their merit,
Right.
right? Their character, their performance,
Right.
not other things like color and whatever background. We want to make sure that we are judging people on the content of their character.
Absolutely.
Okay. And
Absolutely.
always and forever. That's what we want to make sure that they're performing up to par and they know what they're doing. Okay. And then lastly, again, we talk backlog, definitely want to decrease the backlog, but giving training to the clerks on how to work with the public. We know a lot of
Yes.
government agencies where people
They get a
are
bad rap.
bad rap, and some of them and most of them, rightfully so,
Yeah.
because the people are nasty. And if you don't want to work at this place, you don't have to be nasty.
Yes.
You can go do something else, honey. You know,
Yes.
we're gonna figure it out.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying because I think it's all. I've had this from a friend of mine that says it's always nice to be nice.
It is. You have to go out of your way to be ugly.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
it's not necessary because everybody's dealing with probably the same things that you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So let's try to find some compassion and also learning how to deal with folks with alternative language
Yes.
necessities. Right. So that's also a big thing for me as well. So if you're speaking language, you can't speak. If you're speaking English and you don't speak Spanish or Mandarin or whatever the case may be, again, it's not necessary to be ugly. Let's try to figure out how we can get this person the necessary tools they need to be successful.
Yes. And Donna, I'm going to make a quick segue.
Hold on.
Yes.
We got to talk about you too.
Oh, well, no, we're just going to make a quick segue really quickly because we haven't even introduced this young man.
Okay.
Over on.
Don't try to avoid now.
Oh, no. We have a second segment coming on tonight. We have a second segment coming on tonight. You know I would never forget that, Rebecca. But Donna, there's a reason that we call this segment A Heart for Service.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times, leadership and a heart for service is something that runs in the family. And today, we've got your son who accompanied you today, who's like kind of an unofficial assistant campaign man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know he's working hard in the background for you.
That's my cameraman, my hype man.
That's right.
Like putting flyers on people's cars and handing them out to people. So yes. And not only that, and I think that it would only be appropriate for us to actually, we're going to talk to him a little bit, but I think it would be only appropriate for us to have him back where he can talk about himself. Absolutely, please.
Himself and the kinds of things that he is doing, because when he came last week and explained to me what his goals were and the things that he's involved in, I want him to just kind of tease a little bit with it this week, but we're going to have him back, and we're going to have him back when his dad is able to come on, because that relationship there is really, really amazing in the way that his dad is grooming and molding his son.
Absolutely.
Yes. It is extremely, extremely fascinating. So introduce yourself to us, young man. Tell us who you are.
Hello, good evening. My name is Sean Myers. I am a 10th grader from Lamar High School. I'm in multiple organizations. As she said, I'm in Boy Scouts of America, Top Teens of America, and Houston Omega Lamplighters.
Oh, and he's so humble about it. But
Absolutely.
he's not just a Boy Scout. Tell us a little bit, Sean, about your years of service in Boy Scout and what level you're getting ready to be able to attain from the organization.
So the level I'll be attaining in a few months will be Eagle Scout, which is the highest rank that you can get in Boy Scouts.
Yes, yes.
So I'm working on that, working on my Eagle Scout project,
Yes.
but talking about service,
Yeah.
just, giving it my all and having a purpose of wanting to do service. And just, I've been around it all my life. So that's what service.
And who's your scoutmaster?
Scoutmaster's my dad.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Absolutely. And I wanted you all to be able to see that kind of relationship and how effective parenting
Absolutely.
can guide
Absolutely.
young men. This is a young African American man.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's
Either
always
this
been
way or that
important.
way.
Yes, yes,
The right guidance can guide either that way or that way.
yes.
And we want to see that dynamic and how it works together. Ask Sean about it, ask his dad about it. So, Sean, can you promise me that when we come back on with you and your dad, you got to kind of share what that path has been like for you?
I mean, yes, most definitely.
When is your mental health?
It
Yeah,
is
for him. Yeah.
next week on Thursday.
And tell us a little bit about that.
A little bit about that. It's just mental health panel to make sure to gain to gain access to information about mental health and how to cope and how to deal with, these emotions and
Yeah.
deal with these problems we have.
And
Absolutely.
it's for
Absolutely.
people your age, right? Genius.
Yes, which is awesome.
That's amazing.
Because the Boy Scout Project or the Scouting of America, their project, they can choose what they want to
Wow.
have as a scouting. And this is something that Sean was very, very passionate about. His dad and I, we didn't know what he was going to do. And he came up and was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And so that's very exciting. I also want to mention, by the way, that this is my second Eagle Scout, right? So I have two. My
Donna,
other son, Jacoby,
you're doing
is
something
Eagle
right.
Scout
You're
from
doing something
up
right.
in DC, and he's
Yes.
Troop 524. I'm
Wow.
sorry, 542 from
Uh-huh.
Shiloh Baptist Church in Washington, DC. And so he's started and led the reins, and then
That's awesome.
Sean has come behind him, and he is making some awesome strides in this field of scouting.
That's
I also
awesome.
want to just make mention to us, because we're talking to everybody, and we're being real, right?
Yeah.
So I have always, parents and women and young ladies, it's very important to me
Mhm.
to have my sons be in the lives of their fathers and vice versa, right? So I've never use the child
Right.
as a manipulation tool.
Right.
Because I've always known my father and my parents were married and then they got divorced, but I
Right.
never had a time where I didn't know my father.
Access to
I
that's
didn't
right.
know who my father was.
Right.
Okay, that's a whole nother conversation. Ladies, y'all gotta
Yeah.
keep it together. Okay. Thank you. Okay. We'll come back to that later.
Yeah.
But as it stands, and when you have a child or whatever, the child is not a manipulation tool because the child needs a father and a mother.
Especially a male child.
Male child,
Yeah.
and females as well.
Absolutely.
They need their dads, but they need an example of
a man.
Man.
to follow and
Right.
what to do when they encounter male situations.
That's
so I
right.
want to just
That's right.
put that out there. And so although it gets started a little rocky just because of some things with the dad,
Yeah.
but I've always maintained a an air or an open place where the father can be with the child. I never
Absolutely.
wanted to be like, okay, I don't know who my child is. and my child don't know who their father is and not being
And then
their lives.
you don't want the children to be resentful.
Absolutely. And the thing about it is, it's obvious that he has a great deal of admiration and respect for his dad.
Absolutely.
And a lot of that has to do with how you have presented that dad to be in the face of your sons.
Sure.
And service starts early. I'm a firm believer.
It is. It does.
People don't fall in philanthropy, right? It's something, philanthropy and altruism is taught.
Right.
So people just don't fall into it. So it has to come from somewhere.
That's right.
So I wanted Sean to, because, my special name for Sean is nephew. I wanted him to tell us, why was mental health so important for you, and what do you plan to do with that later on in the future?
Mental health, I think, is very important to me, and why I chose that. One, just to look at my profession, what I want to be, what my career, what I want to build my career on is, mental health. So that's what I wanted to be. Also, to give a spotlight and give information to kids my age to deal with, like I said, deal with these problems, cope, or anything. That's what I really wanted to do.
That's awesome. Well, Miss Donna, I just want to say that you are an amazing candidate for Harris County District Clerk.
All right, yes.
She's not trying to fight Tanisha people.
No. They have a wonderful county clerk.
Yes, absolutely.
But you are definitely, you have set in front of us your qualifications. And the thing about it is, and I think this is so important, your qualifications are not just laser beam focused on one thing.
Correct.
You have done many things, and you have been able to manage all of those things in a successful way, which gives you a broad base of knowledge of how to walk directly into that position and hit the ground running,
and bringing all of that knowledge to a place where everybody in Houston can maneuver, because at some point we're all going to sit at the district clerk's office
in some capacity.
Absolutely.
So this is, you want to have somebody that's qualified.
Absolutely.
Crystal and I have this talk all the time. Part of the problem with America is that we have adopted this. It doesn't matter what you know, it's who you know.
Oh gosh.
And we have to admit that has set America back. Because we've been putting people in position.
Maybe we had to see it. Maybe we had to see it.
People in position
who weren't qualified.
We knew, but they weren't qualified for the job.
That's right.
And because when you have lack of qualifications, America is a prime example of this is the mess you make.
And there are certain character traits that are aligned with certain positions.
Right.
That's not to say that anybody's character traits that they have as humans are bad, but they may not be in context for a certain position.
And not only that, the skill level.
That's right.
We have to have skilled people
absolutely
at the helm.
That's right.
Running things, because when you have unskilled people running things,
the bottom falls out of it. Let's just call it like it is.
You should be skilled. You should be well-rounded. So
absolutely,
the thing I believe that I bring to this opportunity is that not only am I understanding and knowledgeable of information technology and background systems and what have you, but I'm also knowledgeable in working with people, people management, dealing with people. And as you guys see, not just on the campaign trail, if you go back to 10 years ago, I've been out in the community working with people, as you were saying. Sean didn't just fall far from the tree or whatever. He's very close from the tree, because he's always been there in service and things that I've done for Prairie View.
He's watched.
His dad has done for Jackson State.
Right.
There's other entities that we're
service
to all mankind. service to all mankind. Okay. He's seen. Then in addition, I also want to just mention that day one, I'm ready to manage and work at the district clerk's office and be at the helm of the Harris County District Clerk's office. It did not take me 10, 15, 20 years who are being associated with the county to get this done.
Have that skill set. That's right.
Absolutely. So I just, for my opponents and my competitors, I ask, or I'm posing this question or comment that says, you've been associated with the Harris County for 10, 15, 20 years. How come you're just now wanting to get some of these things that you're advocating for done now? Somebody's worked at Commissioner Adrian Garcia's office. How come you didn't influence, persuade Garcia to give the district clerk the money that the Maryland Burgess needed in order to get things done for the pay
Which is why she did it.
Absolutely.
She said this herself.
Yes. So I'm just asking other people who have been judges. 2 people have been judges before. How come you haven't been advocating for these pay raises and this increase in technology as a judge? Why didn't you? And then one person was suspended from his duties because of his character and his behavior in his courtroom. Okay, so I'm just bringing it to you like it is, as I always do, and I'm keeping it real. The other thing is, and then the other person just doesn't have the management years in, and I'm not saying you can't be something and be young, so I don't want to say that, but it takes a lot to manage people and manage systems. So just being straight out of college, sometimes it doesn't cut it, whatever. I think it's a fine person, but I just think you just need a few more years in managing people and more people.
Why America is in the shape that it's in, because we have people who don't have the proper skills.
Now, I have managed up to 475 plus persons in the district clerk houses, over 525 personnel. So I believe I can manage 50 more people. I don't have
50 more people is not.
No, it's not. In addition to that, I have managed I've created and managed and implemented multi-million-dollar budgets.
Wow.
So again, I don't feel like this is a heart set pressed for me. I am used to dealing with people and HR issues. I am awesome and I love public relations. Okay, that's part of my business that I do, and so I'm excited about it. As you guys see, look, this is one of my little advertising.
You gotta put that back on.
Gotta put my hat back on. I was at the
love it.
Houston partnership today, at the Hilton Americas, and they got all of this.
And you collected some donations along the way.
Some great networking.
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't know anything else about Donna G, I'm out here. Okay.
And Donna, if people want to connect with you, tell them one more time how they could visit your website and how they can donate to your campaign.
Absolutely. So you can visit me at DonnaG4DistrictClerk.com. Donna G for districtclerk.com, Donna G for districtclerk.com.
I love it.
Okay, social media, Donna G for the number 4, HCDC, Donna G for HCDC, as well as Act Blue. The Act Blue is Donna G for HCDC, and Cash App is the $ Donna G for HCDC. Vote for me, Donna G. I'm number 3.
All right, Donna, and with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, of course, I'm Crystal Dillard. I am your classroom teacher candidate.
Yes.
The only one. I'm the only classroom teacher candidate for Texas
currently
House District. Yes, I'm in the classroom. I'm boots on the ground. Classroom teacher candidate for Texas House District 131. And my gosh, everybody knows that communities rise when there's a teacher at the table. So, Rebecca, it's Donna G, Sean, everybody who is watching, as we say every week, Rebecca, we can do it. See you later. Mwah.